A nice cup of coffee. Dark, relaxing, perfect for... Stop! Stop! I need to see you!
Friggin' burned!
I have great news!
Oh, my blouse! I can't let anyone see me like this.
Open up! Come on! I know you're in there! You're not gonna believe this!
Iris, to what do I owe the pleasure?
You doing okay there? You got a little something on your...
I'm sure it's more than just a little something, but come on in.
So, I have some great news.
So I heard. We don't have an appointment today, but I'm not expecting someone for about an hour. What's the news?
I got my first gig!
Really? Congratulations!
I'm so excited. It's a fan dub for an anime I really like.
Oh, so you're starting out with something small like I suggested. Good for you.
Thanks. But there's more. So I told my family about it. They got all excited, and they asked if I might be able to find some paying work soon, too. So I looked, and I've noticed that a lot of casting calls say no USB mics. So I decided to skip that and went straight for an XLR.
Not exactly what I would recommend, but go on.
So I did more research, and I found that there are some decent mics and some really good ones, like the ones they use in actual recording studios.
I don't think I like where you're going with this.
And well, I heard that while Rhodes were good, the Neumann mics are where it's at. And I thought, I don't see the point in auditioning with anything less when I could just get the best. And I got a gift certificate for my birthday anyway, so...
Iris, what did you do?
I bought a Neumann TLM 103 and an Apollo Twin for the interface, since I heard that was important too.
Iris, and you did mention you haven't done any paid work yet, right?
Right. But I figured that since I was already cast for something, I've got some skills. I just needed the right equipment to put myself out there.
But you haven't even done proper training. Just some free workshops I recommended, and you don't have a demo.
I'll get the demo when I get some more practice with my fandom role. I'm playing 2 characters, so that should help with my range a bit.
You just really did not need to go out of your way to purchase equipment this expensive.
But I wanted to. Is there really something wrong with that?
Only that, from what I know, most of my clients have found success testing out different mics and slowly upgrading to find what works best for them.
Well, I just assumed that since Neumann mics are used a lot in studios, that doesn't matter. They should be good for everyone, right?
I guess. But did you really need to make that investment now?
Yes.
Think of it this way, Iris. You spent all of the money you had, plus what was given to you as a gift on this equipment. What if it takes you a while to find some paid roles?
I'll work my way there. It should happen soon, though, right? I have the best there is.
But what directors focus on more is whether you're a good fit for the part. It's more than just your gear.
Then why place so much importance on the gear and the casting calls? They say no USB mics, professional home studio quality only.
That's another thing I wanted to get into. What space are you recording in?
My room.
What all do you have in there?
Just my bed and my computer desk, a bookshelf, my closet.
Are you recording inside of your closet?
What? No, why would I do that when I have a whole room to myself?
The thing is, Iris, most studios are smaller spaces that have very good sound treatment.
Oh yeah, like the soundproof glass and all that? I don't really need that. I can just tell my family to keep it down when I'm recording.
It's more than that. They have sound panels and other types of treatment to help keep the recording from producing an echo. If you record in a relatively open and empty space, your audio will sound hollow and more unprofessional than someone using a less expensive mic in a well-treated room.
Seriously? I didn't think that would be so important. I thought the mic would do most of the work and I would just sound awesome.
Your voice would certainly sound great, but the audio will not be up to par with other actors submitting for the same role.
Jeez. I guess I should look into some room treatment, huh?
And training. There's not much you can really do if you don't have the knowledge on how to best expand your range and treat your voice. It's more than just trying to do silly voices.
I know that. I just
Thought that since I already got booked for something, the rest would come easier. I absolutely understand that, and I admire your drive and determination to take this seriously. But it's more than just spending money. It's investing wisely at the right time. I get it. Well, thanks. Maybe my family can help me out with getting some sound panels. I know you can find some on Amazon to start out with. Please don't go for the most expensive option this time. It may not always be the best for what you need. Appreciate it. I'll let you know how it goes. Oh, and take this. Since you can use more tips, I recommend this supplement. Cold Read, the cold drink edition? How is a Kool-Aid pouch going to give me tips? Just trust me. Okay, if you say so. Later that evening. Damn, this is like NyQuil. Okay, guess I'm going to sleep now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the intro. Wow. So we're working with a bit of a technical issue here and there, so apologies. Everything's going to take a little longer to come up than usual. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast. Thank you for again, that wonderful intro there, Misty. And I guess we're going to have to think about rebranding, maybe putting out a drink now. So thank you for that. For those of you that are here, welcome. I see a lot of names come up. Garritt, thank you so much for coming in. McMorta, hello. Misty, hello. Post show, Michelle, welcome. So this is Cold Read the Podcast. If you're either here live or if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us anywhere you get a podcast, thanks for tuning in. Very, very interesting. I like the direction that you took there. So this seems to be your running theme. The therapist in yourself. I like it.
Yeah, someone that just wants to help people, like with certain issues that I see pop up every now and then, like in the communities and questions that people have. I'm like, giving a character out of someone that has these particular problems.
As an owner of a Neumann 102, I feel a little attacked on that second part of it. But yeah, no, I totally understand. So, as we normally do, as you guys notice, first off, let's address the non-Brit not in the room. Renara is off this week. We wish her well. We hope that she's getting whatever she needs to get care of done. Garritt, who we interviewed a couple episodes ago, stepped in. Hello, Garritt. How are you?
Hello. I can absolutely be your resident temporary Brit. And so,
all right.
Happy to be here. Thank you guys very much.
Awesome.
Just all you have to do is just ramble and then get nervous about your rambling and say, I'm going to stop talking now, and you'll nail Renara perfectly.
Absolutely. I can absolutely do that. Thank you guys very much, but I'm going to go quiet now.
Oh, dear. I'm rambling again. Shutting up.
And then we have, no, it's okay. You're supposed to talk. That's fine. And notice we didn't put up the picture this time, Renara, if you're watching this episode, so...
That's true. Renara is alive and well, but she might kill us after we, make jokes at her expense.
Absolutely. Well, okay. So as we do every time, we're going to check in with everybody. Normally, I would start with Renara, so I'm going to actually start with Garritt this time. Garritt, how has your week been?
It has been a week. Lovely retail world has definitely put some... Yeah, I'm tired, y'all. Just put it at that. Voice world has been a little slow, but, to be expected. And other than that, it's just spamming a lot of Elden Ring. Just an ungodly amount of Elden Ring.
It's funny you say I've got the game. I've got it already loaded up and ready to go, but I'm waiting for me to go on vacation. Because I know as soon as I start, it's going to consume my time.
I am already 100 hours in, so it's and I think I'm only 30 to 50% through the game, so it's
yikes. Okay, well that's good to know.
Just selling your soul.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, thanks so much for being here. Welcome. Misty, how is your side of the world doing?
So, one of the things I was doing, I didn't really mention it because it's smaller. I did another like voice acting competition thing. I got to the semifinals, but not the finals again. Still, I'm proud of myself. Semifinals twice in a row, not bad at all. And I did not watch apparently they did something live for the finals, and I was a staff pick, which is good. So it's like, okay, yay. But it doesn't mean that much, but at least it means that someone did appreciate what I did. And I was proud of it. It was like audiobook narration was the last category. And I chose an audiobook one that was like a little short snippet of Peter Rabbit. I was like, I'm proud of it. I gave the little rabbits voices and stuff to make it sound cute like an audiobook. I'm like, I'm okay with what I did.
Oh, are you going to get feedback or anything based off of maybe why, or you're just going to?
No, but this one, I don't think they're doing that. I know with Now Voice This, if you were a patron, they could like give you feedback.
Okay.
But this one, there isn't anything like that. It's a really new one. Like they just set this up like last month or 2 months ago.
Gotcha.
It's called The Masked Mic. So we'll see if I can re-enter next time. Really, I'm just proud and I'm happy.
Good.
That's like the only thing I've been doing because again, it's just been slow in terms of getting back into things, but slowly getting back.
No, that's totally understandable.
Yeah, I haven't even been tried to stream more Doki Doki recently, but I haven't been able to do that. So hopefully today or tomorrow I'll try.
Yeah, and for those of you that do Twitch, you're more towards the later of the night, is my understanding, is generally when you pop in?
Yeah, it's just this like I'm trying to do it a little earlier, for peeps, but I actually got quite a few views last time I did, when the first time I played Doki Doki, so I'm happy.
Good. Nice. Generally has good following, so good. Welcome, Misty. Thanks for being here. Eldurrino, how about you? How are you doing?
I'm okay. Nothing too exciting this week. I mentioned this before, but I've kind of been struggling to find auditions that I am able to do or want to do. And taking some advice from my girlfriend, she said, if you're not finding a lot of paid projects, maybe just start doing some other free work just to help kind of build up that portfolio. And she's right. I really should be trying to just basically do anything that I see as being beneficial, as opposed to just limiting myself to it. So I still haven't really been able to find a whole lot of auditions that I'm interested in, but in the meantime, I've also been reading up more on writing, first of all, as I mentioned last week. And then my girlfriend has a book on acting that I'm going to be starting here probably in like a week or two. Just a lot of just trying to build up myself, I guess. I did bookmark a number of auditions I wanted to do this weekend. And then Destiny 2 got in the way, and so I didn't do that. And then other life stuff got in the way, so I'm not able to do that tonight. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, work was actually pretty insane this week. I was a little drained coming home, but on the good side, I've been watching The Good Place.
Such a good show.
Fantastic series.
Such a good show.
I've really been enjoying it. We just got to season 3 today, so I'm very, very excited to see where this series is going. So
glad you're watching it.
Yeah, it's funny. I've actually been really enjoying. I like very quirky comedy when it comes to TV shows, and I feel like that hits the spot. So.
Oh yeah,
super fun.
It's good because I love shows that have actual endings, not that just disappear and you have no idea what happened. You're gonna have a definite finale to this particular show. Oh, okay, cool. The Good Place is a great watch. Absolutely, Blind Ship. I agree 100%. So for me, I've got one more voiceover for Citadel to do as Luke. I've been tapped to continue being the Luke Skywalker for that audio drama for the Bounty Hunter series, which is another comic that'll be coming out for it too. Hoping to see some of those soon. I know you keep putting it out, and Nothing's coming back. Got to do a little bit of JShow clips, which is if you have an opportunity, go to TikTok, check out jshowclips.com. Burnham says it sounds much more dramatic when you imagine you're saying, and Destiny 2 got in the way. And Destiny 2 got in the way.
I should have done that way more dramatic than I did. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I want to get into doing auditions again for voices.com. It's nice to have a reoccurring job, and I'm sure we're going to get into that because I think one of our topics is going to broach that. But I feel like I'm not taking full advantage of my membership, and it's starting to drive me a little crazy. So, yeah,
I am in that same boat, my friend, and we'll cover that once we get to that.
Yes. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We don't actually have a particular overall topic. So we're just going to call today Tales from Reddit on the /r, or what is it? r// /r.
Yes.
Yeah.
Voice acting.
Voice acting. So Eldurrino has gone through, and thank you for this, putting together some of the topics that we want to talk about. And as we're going, I'm going to post the topic in chat. So in case you all want to follow along there. And the first one, Eldurrino is going to take the lead on, and it'll be obvious here in just a moment why.
Yeah.
Topic title. No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to read it, but go ahead.
So our first topic comes from a username that I can't really pronounce. I'm just going to try. It's that's about close as it's going to get. And the topic says how to scream / growl with your voice without hurting it, ? And the post says, I recently rewatched old Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub videos of Vegeta. I tried to imitate, but got nowhere close, and my throat just hurts now. I don't know how people can do things like this with their voice. Is there any techniques or videos I should be watching to learn? And then this person posts another video and says, just with his talking, he's so amazing at it. How do you talk with such growl in your voice without hurting it? For the general audience, if you guys aren't aware, I have been dabbling and practicing metal style vocals or harsh style vocals for several years now, over a decade now. And it definitely didn't come overnight. I will say that first and foremost. This is something you need to practice a lot, and I'm talking daily, even just a few minutes to an hour. It's something you need to do if you want to actually be able to do it consistently, because it is something that your voice is not naturally going to be accustomed to, and so you need to just get your muscles used to the feeling. Secondly, I will say that if you are ever doing a voice that starts to hurt you, stop immediately. Do not push yourself, because you can do irreparable damage to your voice, and nobody here or anywhere wants to see you hurting yourself. Now, as far as my personal experience goes, I started learning from a vocal teacher who is very well known in the music side of things, and her name is Melissa Cross. She has a DVD that released a long time ago called The Zen of Screaming, and it teaches you how to do a metal style scream. I won't get into the whole details of it because I'm not going to demonstrate it, but learning how to use your instrument to its fullest potential is really going to help you in the long run. Now, to kind of get into the more finite details of it, there's a lot of different styles to harsh style vocals that you can do. You can do something that's a little bit more airy, something that's raspy, or you can just go full growl into it and sound like you're a wolf man or something. So it all just comes from learning how to use your instrument very, very well. Now, when it comes to doing Vegeta's voice, I know Chris, what is his last name? Yes. He he kind of does a combination of the two. He kind of adds in that that airiness, that breathiness, as well as kind of pushing his voice. Instead of like being in the middle of the mouth as most Americans would do, it's kind of more back in the throat. So he kind of sounds like this, you know, Kakarot. So it's really the best of us. But I can't talk today. The best.
It's okay. It's not that important.
The best advice that I can give you, if you are from North America, if you live in the United States, if you pay attention to how you speak. You will notice that a lot of your syllables will be geared more towards the middle of your mouth. I try to give this advice to anybody who wants to learn more like rougher style vocals. Try taking your voice and pushing it into the back of your throat, and you can achieve this pretty easily by trying to lower your jaw. And I'm not talking about necessarily trying to speak deeper, because I mean it is effective to do that, but just trying to lower your jaw, like, and you're going to look like ridiculous doing it, but just trying
this
to.
Is why we do it behind a camera.
Yes,
exactly. This is why we're voice actors. You try to lower your jaw so that the voice naturally forces itself into the back of your throat. So once you kind of get that feeling where it's really back there and you start speaking like this, where it's more of a boomy voice, that's when you can start adding in the grit. And again, once you start this, it's going to feel abnormal. It may dry out your throat a little bit. So make sure you're constantly hydrating, but the best way that I can exemplify doing this is by coughing. And I don't recommend doing this a whole lot because coughing involves using your like abdominals in a horrible way, and you don't want to strain a muscle, because I've done that before. I have strained myself so much that I actually pulled and possibly strained a muscle in my abdomen, and it was the worst pain I've ever felt.
Oh.
But so essentially practice almost an elongated cough, and I'm going to warn everyone right now, this is going to be very annoying. But if you think of yourself coughing, you're pushing the air out from your abdomen, you know, like, okay, simple as that. Now take that same thing and just elongate it, push more air towards the end of it, so you're more. Okay.
Now let me explain what's going on real quick, only because your mic is peaking so much that it's hiding the sound.
Yeah,
okay.
Kind of.
So I apologize.
No,
I
it's
can't
okay.
really do much about that. But again, you're trying to cough. You're trying to get that air past your vocal cords. And really the big thing when it comes to trying to speak with more grit or roughness to your voice is the breath support. You need a lot of it, because your body is going to be like, I don't have enough air. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this. So again, try to learn how to flex your abdominal muscles by coughing. Think about that feeling that you get in your throat whilst you're coughing. And it kind of sounds silly to do, but like, imagine yourself, or imagine speaking like how an old man would talk, essentially. You know, if you're looking for the airiness, you're looking to speak a little bit like this at first, you know. You know, so that can lead into doing more of a raspy voice, you know. You know, again, if you're looking to speak like Vegeta, he has a lot of airiness to his breath, you know. And then as far as the growl goes, that one it's very hard for me to speak on, because I do it in a very different way than I think most people do. But you will find something that works for you. So if anything, go online, look at other people doing this, or better yet, if you can afford it, go talk to a vocal coach, someone who specializes in that rough style of vocals. There are a few of them online, I know. There's actually what is his name? I think he's the lead singer from a power metal band, and I cannot for the life of me remember, but he does voice acting on the side as well. And he has a very good series about it. You do have to pay money for the classes, but he will show you what to do, what to avoid, and it is super beneficial. So again, learn the breath support, really flex your abdominal muscles. You want to be breathing from your diaphragm. Get that kind of like raspiness, airiness, whatever to your voice. And then as far as a growl goes, it's just something you'll naturally develop as you push your voice into the back of your throat. It's a little difficult at first, and again, if you're starting to speak like this and you notice that it's starting to hurt your voice a little bit, stop. Don't hurt yourself. Don't overexert yourself. I promise you, it is not worth it. It is something that you will develop over time, and as long as you keep at it and practice it safely, you will get there.
Okay, so I'm going to add on a little bit to that and say to the point where if you audition using a voice that you can't sustain for more than 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, don't even think about doing it, because if you get cast for it and then you start doing the recording and then you have to go to them and say, hey, you know what, I just strained my voice, or it would be more like, hey, I just strained my voice, type of a situation. You're going to lose the part super fast.
Right. And that's like, so I mentioned this before, like I'm now part of a Dragon Ball GT, like a bridge series in which I have to play Trunks. And when I did my audition for it, I noticed that it started out really well, but then towards the end, it kind of got a little off of what I originally started with. Like when I started it initially, I was very airy and a little bit of growl in the back, but having that higher voice really helps with the breath support. And I noticed that as I went along, I started losing the airiness to it. I started getting really growly like this, and I didn't really like it. So it takes a lot to just remember like how to do it effectively. And again, like if you can't sustain that voice for longer than, I would say honestly, like an hour, don't audition with it. It is because you will ruin your voice and you'll ruin your chance at nailing that role. Fortunately, again, I've been doing this for many years. I know how far I can push myself before I have to take a break or I have to just stop completely. I can probably go 3 to 4 hours or so just speaking like I was just doing, and I'll be fine. I'll probably wake up in the morning and I might feel a little bit strained, but I drink some water, I have some tea, whatnot. Easy recovery. So don't ever audition for something if you can't hold that same voice for longer than an hour or so.
Yeah, it's all going to be. Garrett, any tips on your side?
I kind of learned how to do it a little bit through just like singing stuff, vocal fray, like you were saying before, power metal stuff. It's literally something that you're not going to be able to do overnight. You literally have to be patient with yourself. Let your body accustom to it, because it hurts.
Right.
It hurts, y'all.
I mean, it's certainly not. It's not simple at first. I will say that, and I should also add in there. If you're like me, you're not able to afford classes, and that's fine. There's no shame in that, but there is also a lot of misinformation out there about how to accomplish that voice in a safe way. I will say, make sure you're hydrating always.
Yes.
Most important thing I could ever recommend. And I'm not saying that because I am the water messiah, but it's super, super important to make sure that you are healthy and that you're taking care of your instrument. Second of all, a lot of videos out there will say, start off by, pounding like half a bottle of soda, and then, get like the gargle in the back of your throat because you want to use like a lot of phlegm and whatnot. That's all wrong. You will not sustain that voice for very long.
If you can't do it naturally, don't force yourself to do it.
Exactly.
It's something
yes.
you have to find out. Like like you can teach yourself how to do bass drop singing, where you're doing actual bass singing, and you're using that second set of vocal cords, because we have second sets of vocal cords, and it's learning how to switch from like a certain octave and then being able to drop and start the vibrations. It's I don't know. It's
no, love it.
I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. But like what's it? Jeff Costello, I think is what his name is. He's a famous bass singer, and he has tutorials on how to do that.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I've seen that before.
But it'll get you kind of in that mode of learning how to open up the back of your throat and how do that. Like you were saying, I'm not good with words. Let Eldurrino say it.
It's all good.
That's still really amazing, though. I mean, the things that we're able to accomplish, but it takes practice and taking care of yourself. Never go for anything that would force, like, I don't. That, especially since it's like, oh, you accumulate phlegm and stuff like that. That just isn't pleasant at all in general. Like, just don't do anything. Don't consume
like drinking milk before an audition. I cannot fathom people doing that.
Well, even soda, it's so sugary, you're going to be clicking up a storm the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I drink soda myself, but not before I record. It's like, I know it's a problem.
And I'm not necessarily saying that this is something like, it's not necessarily a routine that they suggest getting into. It's just the videos or the information out there suggest use this as a basis to go off of. And honestly, like, it's not worth it. There are better ways to learn it, safer ways to do it. There's a very simple one that I learned, I guess, kind of recently, and I'll go over it because it can apply to males and females. The style that I learned applies actually to only males, just because we have an Adam's apple, but there's a simple one that applies for both. So start off by you come home from a long day of work. You just want to, reheat that bowl of mac and cheese that you have in the fridge and sit down and watch some Netflix. But you open up the door and God damn it, your dog just ripped up the couch. And what else are you going to do? You're going to sigh about it. You're going to say, I'm just defeated. You throw the keys on the ground and you just go, okay. That's the breath. That is, you're taking in a lot of breath and you're expelling it very quickly, right?
I'm very practiced on that one. Keep going.
How is that me, but without a dog? Literally, it's all that is me without the pet.
So you clean up all the couch parts, and you go to turn on your TV, and God damn it, your credit card got declined, and you can't watch Netflix. You're gonna sigh again, but this time it's gonna be even more exasperated. And you'll notice, even as I did that now, instead of just, it was more, you can hear that the voice is naturally transitioning and getting rougher, right? So once you've got that down, that's the entire breath support. From there, I don't remember how she described it, but you kind of take that exasperated sigh going, and you learn how to control that. That is the grit. That is the growl. Once you have a controller that, you can really start speaking more like this. And if you want to, you can expand upon that even more and learn how to metal scream if you really want to. That I'm not going to demonstrate right now because I don't want to scare anybody. But
well, yeah, your mic will peek out anyway.
All I think about is that one TikTok that "save your pity for the weak" thing. That's all I think of anytime we talk about metal stuff.
Although I will say, if anybody wants to pay me to say ridiculous sayings while in a metal scream, I will gladly accept donations over PayPal.
Yes. Shit, that would be a good $5.
Nah,
honestly,
10 words. 10 words. You get Tic Tac. Oh my god. How old are you, Eldurrino?
I'm younger than you, dude. Come on.
Also,
Well, that's what you would use TikTok for.
sorry. I would like to say Cold Read the Podcast would like to apologize for momentarily turning into an ASMR podcast. Thank you. So I think the bottom line of all of it is definitely know your limits. Practice. If it hurts, please stop. And
Yes.
you know, the book that I recommended last time, the audio book, and I actually have my son listening to this, the voiceover voice actors, puts the water situation in the best way that I can think of. If anybody offers you a drink of water, you are not allowed to say no.
There you go.
And you will definitely
Because
stay hydrated.
if you don't, I will be under your bed when you get home.
Oh God, okay.
Water Messiah, no, please. Did you drink water today?
Like it's like that meme where the like dad's like busting in the door or whatever, and it's like it's water drinking time, and the little boy on the ground is like, "Water Messiah, no!"
Oh no.
I don't know
Anyways.
I don't know what we are today anymore.
Or you can just start streaming and then just put a hydrate button at a low cost, and then you
Yes.
will always be
Inundated.
That's
You'll
the thing that
probably have
one
to
of
take,
my stream, like one of the person that I stream, they have a hydrate option too. So it's like always like, oh.
Yep.
I'd be too afraid of
That's what I
Dorino.
did.
Yeah.
That's what I did when I was streaming, and then I had to
Spam
take
it.
like 3 bathroom breaks every hour. It was great.
Jesus.
Before we move on, out of curiosity, Misty, is there an equivalent? What is the growl on your side that you can think of? You're not sure? Wouldn't
I
like
don't know.
older lady kind of like a witch type? That's more of a higher one. Demoness?
This
I
is
always
what I
think of, like-
practice sometimes with,
Yeah, that's
but it's
Roz,
like, I'm
yeah.
still working on it.
Oh.
Working on it still.
Yes.
You know, I wanna
Jolly,
get
I'm
paid
still
for a
clamped.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't even get
I
me
always
started.
think of like for females, I always think of Roz or
Roz,
whatnot
yeah, from
Wazowski.
Monsters, Inc.
Yes, yeah, you know,
You get
always
the
watching
paperwork.
Wazowski. Fun fact though, that character was voiced by a guy. It was the same guy who did the caterpillar from A Bug's Life.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh my
God.
Burnham says
But,
Joey Tribbiani's agent, and that's dead on.
Yes.
If you're
yes, so-
friends.
Yes, there's a character that I do, Petunia. That voice is roughly or loosely based off of her. I mean, it's an amalgamation of different characters all packed into one, and real people. But yeah, like, oh come on, Joey, like, just get out there and put yourself out into the world and do whatever you gotta do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Except she smokes a lot of cigarettes, so don't smoke, kids.
I
It's
love.
not good for you.
Okay, and this is again going back and showing that obviously that I've seen it. She's got that little thing that you pop up and it opens a tree of cigarettes. My aunt had one of those, and it was like, oh my god.
Oh Jesus! Whenever I cosplay Petunia, I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Oh please, yes. I'm sure you can find them somewhere.
That's next Halloween's costume, by the way.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
we need to
You know,
start that.
even without knowing that, I still made that intro where the character like smoked a bunch of cigarettes, and that's what she got like the voice. It's like, that's so.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. So, I think we're good on this topic. I think everybody's. I think we've definitely touched on all the important parts. So let's move on a little bit to the next question that we found on Reddit. This one's a little bit more simple. It's just pretty much a poll, and the question is, what's your experience with pay to play sites like Voices 123, and Backstage? I'm gonna go last. I've got experience on 2 of these. Who wants to take it first?
I say Misty goes first because I think she's probably the most recent and has the, well, I don't want to say least amount of experience, but you're also the newest person to sub to a pay-to-play site. So how do you feel, Misty?
I just find it funny that I looked at the results and most of the people said, I don't even use these sites. 107 of them.
Well, we can submit this to those people and then they'll have an opinion.
That's funny. That gives a good idea of the kind of people that are that frequent that. I see a lot of people comment about these sites and ask questions, so it's interesting. But so I am quite new at this, and I'm trying to focus on getting back to auditioning every day, because that's the only way you can really hope to, unfortunately, do something with these sites, because I thankfully paid it was like $50 for a year. So I'm not panicking too much. I already made that back with my first gig I got, which took like 2 months, maybe like 1 to 2 months for me to get that first one. And when I did voices a long time ago, back when you could pay for it monthly, I also took like a month or two for me to do one.
Okay.
So I'd say you just need to dedicate it. Like if you, like my experience has not been like fantastic, great. It's been good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a pretty good percent. Like I think it's a pretty good saying that I managed to find something that quick, but it's because you have to devote time to it. And if you don't have that time, then it will take much longer for you to get something. So you need to set that goal of auditioning a few times a week, really put aside that time, especially for the sites where you pay more. Yeah, it's very important.
I agree.
Yeah.
Garrett, what's your experience with pay to play? I'm curious.
I have not had good experiences with them personally, but I've heard success stories. And I also think it's kind of in a position with pay-to-play stuff that you kind of have to be in a spot where you know you're good enough to get cast and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for somebody like, oh, I'm just now starting out, I'm going to jump into these pay-to-play sites. I feel like you need some groundwork before you take that to the next level. Some of those sites do cost a little bit, I think there's some of them that take like percentages based on the projects that you're cast in and the pay from that.
Yes.
So my recommendation on all that is just know what you're getting into first. Know that if you have the finances to make that leap, that you are confident enough that you can get cast. I've personally not had, like I said, good experiences with it, but
Okay.
Everybody's story is a little bit different.
Absolutely,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why we're asking around as we go. Eldurrino?
So I have been on voices.com for I want to say almost half a year now, which is not good. I'm kind of on the fence because I have not been cast for anything. I will just say that forthright. But at the same time, I also have not auditioned that much. So it's tough for me to speak on. However, I've been wanting to make more of an effort to do it, and it seems like more of a grind than anything to me initially, but I think as time goes on, it'll feel less of a burden and more of something I want to do. I brought this up before, but there was a video that I saw somewhat recently of Jun Yoon, who is a pretty well-known voice actor, talking about how, yes, everyone wants the character work. Everyone wants to be in animation or video games or what have you. But at the end of the day, you still need your day-to-day. And that really comes down, if you want to do voice acting full-time, you need to get comfortable with doing commercial work because it is consistent and something that you can pretty much always audition for every single day. I do not feel 100% comfortable with my own voice in commercials just yet. I don't feel like my cadence for certain styles of commercial are good. I know there's a few of them I've actually was very happy with, and I was really hoping that they would have gone somewhere. Fortunately, they didn't. But yeah, it's tough because like I said, everyone wants character work, but you really have to get used to doing commercial work. I can't speak on other. Well, I've had backstage. I didn't get any work out of that. I didn't even bother because a lot of it was like you had to travel for it, and I can't afford to travel. So that one I was not super thrilled with. Voices is a bit nicer because a lot of it is more remote. However, again, a lot of it is commercial. Like you'll sometimes come across character work. But yeah, a lot of it is like advertisements or like characters at like theme parks and such like that. But anyways, another part of it though is Like, okay, yes, you're paying however much money per year in order to use these sites. I will say Voices, at the very least, does take a cut of your money. They take 20%. So
in addition to, right.
Yes. So whenever you put in your bid, so, say someone's offering you $2,000 for a job, they will immediately take $400 out of that. So you, in the end, will receive $1,600. Not the biggest fan of that. I understand why they do it. Still not a huge fan of it. And then the other thing that I have to say in that is it really it's more beneficial to you if you are able to be at your computer long term.
Yes.
Because like people, when they're with sites like these, they expect quick turnaround rates. As soon as that deadline is reached, they are immediately jumping back on and they're starting to look through the submissions to see who is, the best fit. From what I've seen, at least based on the results that I've gotten, most of my auditions have not been listened to. Therefore, that signifies that they will go through it. This voice is good enough. We're going with them. Screw the rest of the auditions. It's not worth it. We don't have time. And then after that, they'll say, hey, you've been chosen. We want you to do this within 24 to 48 hours. So again, it's I feel like pay-to-play sites are more geared towards people who are trying to either do part-time or better yet are full-time. But again, that is just my, somewhat closed-minded view on it. I know Zamoody probably has the best experience, so I will let him follow up on this.
Sure. So, you need to understand, like Garrett said, don't make it the first thing you do when you start voice acting. The gateway, I think, to voices.com is, do you have at least 2 good demos you can put up? If you have 2 good, approved, non-family, somebody else listened to it and said, oh, this is an awesome demo, then it's time for you to then you can start your account. Because I think by that point, you are now ready to be cast on stuff, as was previously mentioned. Yeah, it's $500 a month, honestly. And past that, your gigs are 20%. So whatever you get, if you get $100, you're going to get 80. Voices is going to get 20. I call it an agent fee for the most part because they're the ones presenting the work. An agent generally tends to charge 10 to 20% depending on where you're at. So I'm like, okay, that's the lesson learned when it comes to this. I think it took me four months to get my first gig. My first gig was the novel. It was kind of a what are they called? Interactive novel. Hasn't come out yet. Still waiting for that video game to come out. Super curious because it's supposed to be on PS5, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Second one that I got was a YouTube impersonator, which is the Survive. What is it called? I hate that I don't know my own roles right now. But it's a comedy series. It's on YouTube where you literally impersonate other YouTube people. They're all in an island and they're all fighting to see who gets out. I think it's like Survive the Algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm I'm one of the YouTubers on there. I think they're on episode 3 right now.
That's fun.
It absolutely is. Where my money comes from right now is the reoccurring role for jshowclips.com. I found an individual back in October who liked my voice and has been using me weekly, if not more, to populate his TikTok videos. And I've done at least a dozen jobs with him. The nice thing about it for me is that each time a job is completed, it is a tick for me and it's a +1 for me. So I don't need to break that, and that's the biggest thing. You have to break past that 0. Once you've passed that point, you're going to have an easier time getting cast because now you have roles for people to listen to. They know that they'll look at your review. You want to maintain a 5-star as best as you can, and then you move forward from there. I have easily paid I've always said this. My gaming computer is literally the computer that was paid by voice acting. Every single component inside of it is paid with the money that I made for voice acting. I use it for my editing, I use it for my recording, and then I use it for Twitch. So there's my business expense. That's what I did with it. Now, if you look at Backstage, like Eldurrino said, Backstage is more personal, especially now that we're coming out of COVID. you will see casting calls for the one that I love, because there's a show on Netflix called The Circle. They literally did the casting for it off of Backstage. And when I saw the call, I showed my wife. They get $100 a day for being on the show, because that's the stipend that shows on there. I was cast for a pilot that didn't go anywhere off of it. My audio was very crappy at that point, though. So I don't know if they've moved forward and they found somebody else. I didn't hear anything past sending my second one. I definitely would not go the Backstage route again. Voices, you have to look at it either you're not going to get work, but it's literally unlimited audition material, audition scripts.
Right.
Great way to practice.
I will say, in regards to Backstage, if you are around the Los Angeles or New York area, it may be beneficial for you to use a site like Backstage, solely because, again, the voiceover work that is offered, a lot of it requests you to travel to either LA or New York. So if you are nearby one of those areas, even if it's a few hours, it can still be beneficial for you, just because you can travel to the studio for the day and then come home same day. And, they may be paying like, $1,000, $2,000 that easily covers gas or like hotel expenses or what have you. So I would just say, in regards to every pay-to-play site, do your research at first and foremost before you even think about the cost, just because you need to know what you're getting into before you, quote unquote, sign on the dotted line.
Okay, I think we're good on pay-to-play, but you know what? Because we were talking about this right before, so let's. I'm gonna veer away from Reddit real quick. You all talked about early casting. And then right now it was mentioned because voices.com, once they find it, they don't have to stick to what's on there. I think everybody could utilize voices.com if you were glued to your seat 24 hours a day, because most of them start coming in at 3 a.m. And the faster that you put them out, the better. So I know there's some strong feelings when it comes to early casting of a role. Everybody want to...
I think Garritt would like to talk about this, because he seemed very adamant about doing so.
Yeah. What's your opinion, Garritt?
I, with a flaming passion, hate early casters. Mostly because a lot of us are dealing with full-time jobs that we have to use to kind of supplement. And so I'm like, okay, I've got to, work around my schedule to be able to get something set aside so I can record for this audition. And then finally, like, the day has come, the planets have aligned, I'm recording, only to go to start uploading to say, oh, hey, by the way, we already got cast for this. And it's like, well, I just spent not only a whole week trying to plan just to get ready for auditioning, but now all of the potential effort that I did into doing that before, it's now gone down the drain, and it's frustrating. And I get the concept that people have, like, oh, I found the perfect voice. It fits everything that I want. But you don't know until you've heard everything, because you may have found that one gem that just did that one just a little bit better or a little bit more different that you liked. And I think you're kind of cheating yourself out as a director if you're not listening to everybody's takes. So early casting, if you're going to set a deadline, you need to be able to stick with the deadline yourself, because then that's showing you as a director you don't have the capability to follow a schedule. So
right. And I know I personally have kind of been bit in the ass by that, where my general routine is, during the day, whilst I'm at my normal day job, I will look through, casting call club, voice acting club, etc., and I will bookmark everything that I think I would like to audition for later on that evening. So I do that regularly, and then when I get home, I set up all my booth, I get everything ready, open up all of the pages, and then I slam out all of the auditions in one recording session. Afterwards, I then go edit. I pulled up this one specific audition. It was the first one, I believe, that I had to do that evening. I only did like 3 or 4 that evening, but in any case, recorded everything, was done, got to my desk, started editing. Overall, probably took an hour and a half. When it came time to submit that audition, that first one, I did not refresh the page, but I tried to submit it and it denied it because it was already cast. It was cast within that hour and a half window. And it's frustrating. Like well, I can't say nobody, but I imagine a lot of people probably aren't fond of that, where, you see a role and you know that the deadline isn't for a good few weeks, and then you try to submit for it and, you see that the role's already been filled. And the worst one that I personally don't like is, you will see, for instance, on Casting Call Club, you will see that it is cast to off-site actor.
Oh, yeah.
I did see that, yeah.
Oh.
That one really bums me out. And granted, I totally respect, sharing your project wherever you can. But again, like, you should be respectful to the people who are trying to give you a chance to complete your work, the opportunity, or rather the chance to listen to said audition. Like, wait till the deadline is done and then listen through everything. Because, yeah, as Garrett said, there might be a voice that is just a little bit better, a little bit more perfect. Maybe they do something that you never expected, and you're like, wow, I never thought that character would do something like that. That is absolutely perfect. And you're not doing any good for yourself. You're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Burnham in chat says, it potentially punishes people who are taking their time to make a better audition rather than rushing it.
True. That is very true. I know, like, one of them, one of the auditions I did, like, it utilized a Russian voice, which is what they're asking for. And, I really sat down and took the time to perfect it before I decided to audition for it. And then I saw that it was already cast before I submitted it. And I listened back to the person who got cast, and it was like night and day. Like, my audio was crisp and clear, and there was no mouth clicks. And I listened to that one, and it was riddled with flaws. And I'm like, well, why would you do this to yourself? You know? Like,
I had that same problem actually with one recently, where I thought even the director told me he really liked my audition and was potentially considering it, but he was going to look at other options. And the person that ultimately got cast didn't have the accent that they were looking for in the thing. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I mean, obviously you know what you want for your project, but it's just kind of rats. And Casting Call Club it does that a lot, where they put the deadline out for a month or a few weeks, and it's well, your reasoning for why you cast so early, is it because you're just so excited that you really want to get on the board with this as soon as possible? Set a shorter deadline. If it's really time sensitive, or just because, you're so excited about this one person, I recommend you can keep that in mind. You can make a sheet or something of the people that have really impressed you so far. But, give other people a chance. Even if you already think, I'm going to cast this person, give other people the chance to submit their work, just to respect the effort that they're going to put into it. Because, I mean, we're all very much used to rejection. That's just something that's part of the work with this industry. But not even giving us that opportunity to be heard, that is a little disheartening, and it happens way too often. Yeah, sometimes, I think I'm gonna submit this later this week. It's fine, and then I see it's already been cast. I'm like, well, it's fine. Okay. Cool.
So I'm gonna look at this in a different way. Okay, Casting Call Club, yes, 100%. You know what? You are doing a project that is your passion project. Stick to your deadlines. Stick to your timelines.
Right.
If this is a commercial project, or if this is a producer or somebody who is in the business, they will probably want to work with people that are able to give them those auditions earlier, because there's going to be no time constraints. Just like you said right now, Garrett.
Sure.
I have to wait for the worlds to align for me to record. I need that recording in 24 hours. I need it in 12. I need somebody that can produce it immediately. Does it suck? Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, I've sat in the booth for an hour doing 10 auditions, and I post one, and exactly, you try to hit the button and they're already considering, or it's already working, and it is so hard. But that's the thing. I'm a hobbyist when it comes to the voice acting side, and I have to be realistic about that when it comes to the people who want to work with me, I generally give them, hey, I've got a 9 to 5, or really I've got like a 3:30 in the morning to like 4:45 p.m. So it's hard for me to be able to do that. And this is why I can't feel bad about somebody who's paying and wants to get the right person in. If they feel that they've got it for their commercial, they're going to run with it. Because they've got producers, they've got owners, they've got company people that need to listen to this, and they need to jump on it as soon as possible.
I think, though, this topic may be more geared towards more passion projects than commercial work.
100%.
Even in the instance of commercial work, like, is from what I've seen, at the very least, and I could be wrong about this, they do stick by their deadlines. Granted, they're much shorter. It may be up for a few days to a week, and then as soon as that deadline is done, it's done. But for the most part, they usually leave their project up until the deadline, and then it's cast instantly. I think maybe this is more talking about like, things like Casting Call Club, where the project, it's open for a month, and then all of a sudden roles are being filled before the deadline is even hit.
Now,
and even expanding on that, because like if somebody was given, like if you're told like, okay, I need it within 48 hours, that's still the expectation has now been set. So it's like, okay, I have to do this within 24 to 48 hours rather than not being told at all. Because that's what it kind of feels like with early casting. Like you're not even being told that it's early casted or considering that option.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that, it feels like you're, kind of like withholding information so I can't perform to my fullest. But if I was given a deadline, okay, this is it up front, then I feel like you can get that. But
when it comes to passion projects and casting call, absolutely 100% I agree. Now, the only reason I'm bringing it up in voices.com is because you know the emails, the amount of emails that we get, Durrino. We get 30 to 40 emails a day, and by the time we sit down, 20 of them are left.
Yes.
Because everything else has been early casted.
And that is the unfortunate thing. Yeah, it's like, I'll wake up in the morning, I won't have many emails, but over the course of the day, yes, voices.com will be filled with 60 different projects that I could audition for. And by the time I get home, I eat my dinner, I'm ready to get in the booth. Yeah, 15, 20 of them are left, which, is unfortunate. But again, as I said before, that particular pay-to-play site really, I think, favors those who are more available, those who don't have a regular 9 to 5 and can be more responsive, which... Good for them. Like if that's what they're doing with their time, go for it. I'm proud of those people. But yeah, it's just more of a warning, I guess, for those who are interested in signing up for something like that.
Burnham on chat says, also, I've been the okay, you're perfect, you're cast now guy. And once, and it does feel good, not going to lie. 100%.
That is true.
Yeah. It's that little hit of dopamine that we're going to get when all the stars align. And
Except I've been on the flip side of that, where I was cast early and the person said, oh, I loved your take. But then at the end of it, they're like, oh, so I found somebody whose voice fit better, but I liked your read better. So they took my read and they told the guy to read it like I did and then cast it to them. Rather than asking if I could just do it the voice like he did, which would have been fine, they just switched it, and it was all done email. That's
so like dirty and underhand. I can't believe someone would do that. That's so rude. Talk about disrespectful.
I can say one thing though, since you guys have we've mostly been addressing voices. My main experience, at least currently, comes from Voice 123. I would say it's a little different. It's very different in how it handles things. I pay, I'm a bronze member, I think now, so I don't pay that much. I got something on a discount even. So when I was just a free member, I did not pay at all. Rarely, every few months, you'd see something come in, because the way they do it is it's tiered. They send invitations for a project first to people that pay the most for the premium members. And then it goes on depending on whether the client has chosen somebody or whether the deadline has been met. So most of the time for the free people, there's nothing left because the deadline has been met or they found somebody. And now that I'm paying, I'm a little bit up in the hierarchy. So I do get some more stuff, like 10, maybe 8 sometimes show up in a day, but they are very, very close to deadline already.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the time I get off work, sometimes there's only like 3 left that I'm interested in personally, that I do submit for. But the good thing is that I think all of them have been reviewed actually by somebody. So that is comforting that there is that structure that at least since my invitation, I think I'm like in the 7th or 8th group sometimes, or 4th even, depending on the job that is passed on to the client. So that's something to consider for people that may be hesitant. I think that Voice Entry 3 has a different structure that could be a bit more friendly for some people. And if you don't necessarily have the time, again, just think about, in general, any pay-to-play site may want to reconsider that. But there is more filters for the type of work that you do. You can put like your age range or gender, the type of accents you can do, and it really filters through. So you can get specifically the stuff that you may be interested in. That may help.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Garritt, thanks for stepping in. We absolutely appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and start our exit here. And I'm saying that only because I know you guys can hear the bumper music. So thanks again for everybody here. Thanks for all of the chat. I much appreciate it. Always love to have people here. If you want to come in and watch one of these recordings, we do it noon on Sunday Pacific time. At my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Zamoody. Come on in. We love to hear. We love to interact with you. If you're watching us on YouTube, please go ahead, give us a like and a comment. Much appreciated. If you're listening to us anywhere you get your podcast, just thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to see some of our reactions, please feel free to check out one of the other sites. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, go ahead and email us at coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. We also take any questions, and we also take your audio. If you have something you want us to listen to and give you some feedback on, we'll play it live. We'll give you constructive feedback. It's a great way to help you expand. We've all done it to ourselves. This isn't something that we exempt ourselves from. So please feel free to drop us a line. I think the intro is going to be up to me next week.
Yep.
Yes. We have a guest too, I believe.
Yes, next week we are interviewing the wonderful Rebecca Amber Clark, who is very excited to be on the show. She seems like a very wonderful individual, so I'm sure all of us are looking forward to talking to her.
Absolutely. Hey. Well, until next time, everybody, we will catch you all. Make sure to keep submitting your stuff. I'll do... Garritt, do you want to do like the keep going type of speech, or
the Renara ramble at the very end?
Oh, well, I don't know if I can do that, but thank you,
a lot
everyone.
Of positivity.
Yeah, that's good.
Everybody, thank you very much for showing up. We absolutely appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Make sure to tune in next time to Zamoody. Everyone else is fantastic. Thank you all. Mwah. Love you.
All right. Keep those auditions going. Keep pushing that record button. Keep submitting. Don't be afraid. Put yourself out there.
Stay positive. Do all the things you want to do.
There it is. Careful, Renara. All right, everybody. Catch you all next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye. Drink water.
Catch you next time. Bye.